Hello, my name is Jackie Walumbe and I am a physiotherapist and a doctoral researcher, and I would like to take the time to welcome you to Footsteps Festival and to introduce you very briefly to the most common forms of research. So, what is research? Research is the process of discovering new knowledge using an agreed set of methods to collect, analyze, and interpret data or information. Findings from research offer new insights or perspectives into the phenomenon or the area of interest, in this case, for example, pain. Healthcare research is usually focused on understanding illness and disease. Insights from healthcare research help us to understand who is affected by illness, in what ways, and how or which treatments are helpful. So how do we know what works for whom in what situation? It's quite common for people to think that just because something worked for them or their family or someone they know, it should work for everybody else. And however, we know this is just not the case because this could be purely due to chance. In order to decide if a treatment is effective, researchers conduct a trial. Two groups of people with a particular condition are invited to participate. One group would be assigned to what we call the control group. This group receives only the current known most effective treatment. If there is no known treatment, for example, then they may be selected to receive no specific treatment, i.e. they would be left on the waiting list or a wait list control. They could also be offered a sham or a placebo treatment that does not contain any active treatment. The other group would be assigned to receive the treatment that you're interested in doing the research on. Each group selected is expected to be as similar as possible so that different characteristics such as age or gender could not explain the eventual result. Researchers are expected to be clear in advance what it is they're looking for and what would be evidence of a good outcome. Participants are allocated to their group randomly, and researchers should not be aware of which group the participants have been assigned to. This prevents bias from researchers knowing which group received the active intervention, as they may then inadvertently analyze the data from that group more favorably. The group receiving the active treatment would have their treatment as described in advance by the researchers, and that would be the trial taking place. At the end of the trial, specified perhaps at the end of a year or even longer, outcomes are collected from each group and compared to decide if any improvement was due to chance, the natural history of the condition, or a problem with the way the study was carried out. And this is usually done by using statistical methods. We usually expect that for a treatment to be considered effective, it would have to meet a certain predefined threshold for improvement, such as a specific percentage reduction in reported pain, and other common disability measures. Now, trials are generally expensive and take time and require expertise to carry out. In order to do this successfully, large numbers are usually recruited to each group in the trial. This can be done by involving many different centres, the multi-centred trial, or pooling the results of different trials together to draw new conclusions. And this is generally known as a systematic review or a meta-analysis. Research papers that report on meta-analysis are considered to be the most robust form of evidence according to leaders in the field of evidence-based healthcare specifically. The statistical methods help us to determine how confident the researchers are that the true outcome of their study falls within a certain range of possible outcomes. If their confidence is low, then the true outcome could possibly lie within quite a large range of figures with a higher probability that the results are due to chance. If that confidence is high, then the true outcome most likely lies within a much narrower interval and is less likely to be due to chance. And there are different ways of thinking about research, though the trial design I've described just now is the most common. In qualitative research, the focus is on collecting and interpreting non-numerical data, for example, textual data, interviews, conversations, images, sounds, and even real-life observations. And this type of research generates quite rich data about the phenomenon of interest, for example, pain, and this is usually located within a particular social, cultural, political, the wider environment, and tends to take into account complexity rather than having more uniform participants. In qualitative research that does not use numerical data, you're generally not looking for a statistical evaluation of probability, but rather you're focusing on more qualitative aspects of experience. Qualitative data is assessed for quality by looking at transferable insights, the extent to which the researcher accounts for their decisions and interpretations, any trustworthiness and the robustness of the methods that have been used, and that they are according to standards in this particular research tradition. So both sides or both types of research are valuable and important, and there are many types of research design that incorporate both, and they allow us to better understand treatments for different health conditions in different individuals and populations. So that's all I have to say about research. If you have any questions, I'm sure that there'll be an opportunity during this time of the festival to speak to different researchers, and thank you for your time.